Ryan felt the book becoming stranger as he went deeper, because it kept describing the prisoner's thoughts in a way that felt too real, too raw, too human, like the writer knew what it felt like to be trapped, forgotten, and doomed. But he kept reading because the story was addictive, heavy, and emotional, and he wanted to see what would happen, unaware that every paragraph he consumed was pushing his other self closer to the end. The book described the prisoner begging the guards to check again, to review the case, to please listen because something felt wrong, and he felt like he was being punished for a life he did not live. But the guards ignored him, and the book said time moved fast in that world, and the date of execution came quicker than he expected. And Ryan kept reading, leaning back in his chair, the rain tapping harder on the window as if the world outside was trying to warn him. Shake him, stop him. The story described the night before the execution, how the prisoner sat alone in the dark, shaking, remembering moments he could not understand, moments that did not belong to him, memories of a library, a rainy day, a book with an eye inside a circle, and he whispered into the darkness, "Why do I remember this? Why do I feel like someone else is controlling my life?" But no one answered, and Ryan, reading the line, blinked, confused for a second, feeling a strange chill on his neck as if someone whispered behind him. But he shrugged it off and kept going because he thought he was just imagining things. The book then described how the prisoner felt like there was another world, another him, someone reading his life like a story and forcing him to live it. And the prisoner cried because he realized he was not living for himself but for someone else's curiosity, someone else's entertainment, and in the simulated world he screamed, "Stop reading! Please stop!" But Ryan only read faster because the story was now wild and emotional, and he was too deep in to stop. Finally, the book said the day of execution arrived, and the guards opened the cell doors and dragged the prisoner out. And he kicked, screamed, begged, shouting that something was wrong, that he did not belong there, that he was living someone else's life. But the guards did not listen because the simulation only followed the words on the page, and the word said he was guilty and his time was up. Ryan swallowed hard as he read about the metal chair, the straps, the cold room, the witnesses behind the glass, and he felt bad for the character, but he reminded himself it was only fiction, just a story, just words on paper, and he turned the final page slowly. Not seeing that far away in the simulated world, his other self was crying and shaking, strapped down, staring at the ceiling, whispering one last time, "Please, stop reading." But Ryan read the last sentence anyway, a simple line that said, "And as the switch was pulled, the man took his final breath." And at the exact same second, the simulated Ryan's body jerked, froze, and fell silent forever. Ryan closed the book with a small sigh, thinking the ending was sad but powerful. And he stood up, stretched, put the book back on the shelf, and walked out of the library feeling normal, calm, and unchanged, never knowing that on a distant simulated planet, an entire world had just ended because he finished a story, never knowing that he had killed another version of himself without ever realizing he existed.